I need to tell a story because a lot of times people will say to me, "Oh, you seem like a critical thinker," and they wonder why I believe in God. And there are a lot of reasons why I believe in God, but I want to tell this one particular story. So in 2019, I was working and things were really, really awful at work. I was actually in counseling. I just had an awful management team at that time. And, the union really couldn't help us. It was just a bad time. It was like one of the darkest periods of my life. So, I'm sitting in my room and it wasn't an audible voice, but I really felt like I was being told, become a notary. And I also felt like I was being told that it wasn't just for me. So I ended up calling. I'm trying to figure out who I called first. I don't remember who I called first, but I called my mother. I called my sister Erin. I called my sister Jennifer. So I can't remember who I called first, but my mother was like, I was kind of scared because, when you say, "Oh, I feel like God is telling me something," you have like this fear that people are going to be like, "Girl, what?" But my mother has a great faith, so it might have been her that I told first. And I was like, I feel very strongly that we're supposed to become notaries, right? So my mother, she was all into it. She's like, yes, yes, yes. But the thing is I didn't know why. Because, as far as I knew, well, notaries just, you give them $1 or something, then they notarize something. So then I tell my sister, Erin, my sister Erin's like, "Yes, baby, let's do it." And then like I said, I don't necessarily remember the order, but I remember telling my sister Jennifer, and she was just kind of like, "Well, how is this going to work? Like, why?" And I didn't really know. But because I told her that I felt like God was saying we needed to do this, she was like, "Okay, well, I'll do it." So we all became notaries, right? So the pandemic happened. And it might have been the pandemic already. I'm not sure. But my sister, Erin, she started to work as a mobile notary and a signing agent where she would do like real estate closings. And she was actually doing so well that when her job was giving her problems, because, at that time, the kids, that's right, it was during the pandemic, because the kids were learning from home, she was able to quit that job and it was a good job too, it was a federal job, but she was able to quit that job and she was able to still stay afloat. And then with my sister Jennifer, she had like children that were like in college. And so her job it wasn't really given a lot of hours. So she was able to make like a lot of money. It was an essential business, but it still wasn't given a lot of hours. So she was able to do, the same thing, do like loan, I think like refinances. And those pay like, could be like $100 to $200 for those. So, so this is what's crazy. They were making like a lot of money, and it was needed because the circumstances of my sister, losing her job because they wanted to make her come in the office too soon when her children were still learning from home. And then my other sister, like barely getting hours to be able to pay her mortgage. I started to realize that this was not for me. And I started to realize that the only reason that God revealed it to me is because I would listen and I would have what's the word I'm looking for? I would have the courage to tell people, yeah, God said to do this. So then my husband starts seeing the money people are making. My son-in-law starts seeing the money, and then they became notaries. So my husband, to this day, I barely do notary. It's my business. I started it and everything, but it's literally uh, making us be able to stay afloat with all the medical issues that I have, which I didn't have before. I didn't, but for me, this is just one story, but there's been so many times where I believe that God knows what's coming in the future, and then he offers preparation kind of in advance so that everything will be okay. With my illness, I mean, geez, the co-pays, because a lot of people don't realize that, yes, I have insurance, but I have a PPO. I have to co-pay for a lot of things. And because it has, it's cardiac in nature, I'm always getting like heart stuff, sometimes those co-pays are $100. Infusion co-pays are $600, So there's lots of stuff that comes with that. So having the notary business has really been good for not only my family, but also my sister's family. And I remember my sister Jennifer telling me that if you had never told me that when you did, I would not have been able to pay my mortgage and keep the kids in college. That's what she told me. And I literally just wanted to cry because yes, you could believe what you believe. Trust me, I am not one of those people that tries to force my beliefs on other people. I don't. But I just want people to understand this is just one example. I can give more. Let me know if you want to hear more of why I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in God. I have a lot more stories like this.